Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Vale, senior editor over at the Koalition.com.
My name is Lawrence, aka Punk with Toys on all the social medias.
And here we are. We're back. This is flying fast, this series. The Terminal is Dark Wolf, Season 1, Episode 5, E&E. You think you know what E&E stands for? Go ahead, tell the people.
Well, I mean, in most shows, there is some sort of reference to the name of the episode. And we couldn't think of anything. And the only thing that I can think of is Eliza and Edwards.
I'll go with that. Unless it's also the name of that building they ran in. Maybe there was something like that. It was dark.
Maybe. But I mean, again, like the majority of the show is focused on them. I guess there's a good amount with Hastings and what he's doing, and a pretty action-packed part with Tal and
oh man, that was
Klaus.
a lot. I out of all the episodes so far, this one had the most action from front to back, and it sort of breaks the formula that we noticed that they were having, where it's like setting up, story, boom, action. And that seems to be
Haverford's not even in this. His voice is, but I don't think he's even in this.
No, he's not in here. Landry, he's not in here. Mo, we don't know that whole situation. We're assuming they made it out, okay, or else, Ben would have heard something during that conversation with Jed. It was like telling him, "Hey, something went wrong. So and so didn't make it back." Blah 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 blah. But we also don't know the time. So
and there's a lot. Well, there's a lot that's it can't. The time can't be that far because you still have the bearings. But there's a lot that's unanswered. Like So again, if we're going by how things are, Eliza and Ben, E&E, are in Zurich, right?
Yep.
They're in Zurich, and Hastings is in Austria. Now, that's a 7-hour span, and I believe they started in Munich. And they do talk about Munich later on. That is directly in between them, which means that he went one way, they went the other. I don't know why they would have gone in two completely separate directions.
Unless more comes up later regarding that location for the rally point. Maybe that was something that we didn't hear, and that was the plan. Hey, once we're done, let's rally. Or if everything goes foobar, we got to go to this point here.
Yeah, so there's a lot that's built up in this, but it also, I hope they answer the questions. I know we just finished Dexter, and there were so many things, like so many questions that were answered, even questions we didn't know we had, like her and her music and everything. So I'm hoping that they'll explain why Hastings went completely opposite. Like why was there not a safe house, a rallying safe house? You would think that with everything going on, that Hastings and Edwards would kind of be like, hey, if things go awry and we have no trust in these people, we need to meet here. Like you would just kind of think, and again, I don't know.
I think we'll get to that. I think in the next episode, they're going to explain that, because there's a few things. For one, well, let's just get into it, because then it flows into it.
Yeah.
Because Ben doesn't even really question or even ask what happened to everybody else. Did everyone else make it out? Because when the episode starts, it's exactly where it left off. We see Ben getting up. He removes the plates. Obviously, that's where he got shot. Yeah. He's okay. He hears the police sirens, and then he goes running off.
But before we get into it, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time. And there's only 2 more times you're going to be notified of this episode.
Of this series. Yeah, this is...
Yeah, no show comes up.
Only 7. This is so short.
You know what? It's going to work out because we have another show already planned.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but doing 2 shows, and you're doing multiple shows because you're doing shows with your brother, doing multiple shows at once is difficult. Now, again, I do a lot of other stuff on YouTube that has nothing to do with the channel. So it's a little difficult for me.
I get it. I mean, it is. Then, of course, The Walking Dead, I'm still doing that. That came back. The Daryl Dixon was over at the Koalition, and the website got it's a lot. We just have a lot.
So, but it's fun. We wouldn't be doing it.
Exactly. That is
true. You ain't paying us.
Yep. So this is definitely good. So we see it. He gets up. He's alive. I don't think a single person thought he would have been just killed off in the 4th episode.
Well, he can be killed off because he's
no
in the future. Remember?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like if somebody would, but then again, if they didn't watch the Terminal List, then they don't know. But no, I don't think anyone thought that he was out. I mean, it would have been a crazy swerve. Hastings, the character, is definitely strong enough to carry the rest if they did decide to go down that road.
I'm with you. I'm going to be 100% honest. They could go into a Thor 5 and replace what's his face, Chris Hemsworth with Tom Hopper, and I have a feeling it would be halfway through the movie before people go, wait a minute, is that not Chris Hemsworth?
He's a little slimmer. He's a little slimmer. He doesn't have the mask.
He would bulk up. They sound the exact same, and there were even shots where we're about to go right now, that when I was looking at him, I'm like, how do he even looks like him?
Yeah, he does. There's some. In fact, let's just get into those shots. They're in Austria. Well, it shows Hastings in Austria in the vehicle. He takes one guy, drags him out, takes another guy, realizes that guy's somewhat alive. And he's like, all right, well, we got a winner. Brings him into what I guess is just a blown out building. Now, this is
was a safe house. I was like, this is a safe house that they're going to meet at, but they're 7 hours away from each other. So
yeah, it's something about the layout, and we weren't even too sure at first if this was a flashback. Just the way it was all portrayed, the way they put the sequences together.
Well, the way he pulls up, he's dragging the guy in the field, and then it's dark, and that is dark. And he's in the car, and he's thinking, I'm like, oh, that's a flashback. That's what I told you. So I still think the dragging the guy in the field might be a flashback, because there's a reason why Hastings wants out of the military.
Oh yeah, we definitely
he wants out of special ops. Yeah, where Edwards, he just wants back in. So, and again, you don't become a lieutenant, a Navy SEAL lieutenant, and a Navy lieutenant in the SEALs. I don't want people to be like, you don't become a SEAL lieutenant. Like, I understand that. You got to cover your bases, because people will call you out and tell you how wrong you are. People love that.
I know. I know.
So,
but
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say because just at this point, the one guy that he does keep, he chains him up, and this is going to be the person he interrogates.
And we see him like stitching him up. So at first I was like, that's why I kind of thought this was maybe a flashback, because here he is, he takes him in, he's stitching him up, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe this was the guy they were working with. This is the past. Maybe we're going back to, this is what happened. Like something like this happened before, and now he's having the flashback, and this is the reason why he wants out, but it's not. He wants answers of what's going on, so he's stitching him up basically just to get information, so this guy can live a little bit longer.
Yeah, little. It also doesn't make too much sense, because then he says that he was standing near the window. He says, "Well, I guess you're pretty ballsy," that during the whole shootout and stuff like that. And it's like,
I think there's a lot of things we didn't see in the shootout.
Yeah, that's. It would have been great if they just had some little flashes, so that way we could just take a quick scene, just showing the guy what role he portrayed. But he wants answers. Like, what happened here?
We don't see what happens to Hastings. When they retreat through the tunnel, what we see is what happens with Eliza and Edwards. We know that Hastings goes through the tunnel. We don't know what happens to him afterwards. Clearly, I would assume this is something that happens afterwards.
Yeah, because he wants to know, how did they know? Who tipped them off?
Yes, but those are the same questions that Edwards was trying to ask Eliza when they're walking through the tunnels before I can't say she backstabs him, because she technically
No. She backshot him. Oh boy. But yeah. But it's also cool is that he's Hastings is running through all these different languages. Like, well, what do you speak? What's going on here? But then the guy even questions, well, who are you? And they get into that whole thing because he has his own accent.
I know we discussed, I think, last episode. I like, I said I like how Hastings is the one in charge. I mean, this is clearly this is supposed to be about Ben Edwards. So this is Taylor Kitsch's show basically, but he's not the one that's in charge. It's Hastings. But I love the character development of Hastings. If they say, hey, you know what, we're doing a lone wolf Hastings, assuming he survives this, I'm all for it. Or, I'm sorry, not lone wolf. It would be
whatever Hastings has his own.
Well, no, it would be the terminal list. Hastings. I said lone wolf. Really, it's even dark wolf. I'm way off.
No, because lone wolf could be a separate thing. A dark wolf is this,
and
then he'll get lone wolf, and then we'll get sneaky wolf.
Lone wolf is a commenter on my live streams.
Nice. There we go.
That's why I want to keep saying lone wolf, and I have to remind myself. Anyway, no, I think he could carry his own show easily. And again, he was on the Umbrella Academy, and I think he was one of the. I think everyone on that whole show, that cast, I really liked, but he was the one that I think people gravitated to, and I think he's been wonderful in the show. Once you figure out he's not Chris Hemsworth.
That is true. I'm sure a lot of people got that confused and still getting it confused. But we're in a new location. Now
we're back to Zurich.
But the question I have before we even start is that this is the one time we hear Jed, right? He calls in, you hear him talking to Ben, and he says, hey, we know where Elsa is with the bearings. And he gives the location. How does he know this? And how much time has passed from this? Well, from obtaining this intel.
She talks about being tracked, but who's tracking her? Right?
It's her intelligence.
Okay.
Mossad. That was the whole thing, because she said once he gets into the hotel, when she checks in, he pushes her into the room, just grills her, wants the same answers we want. Why did you do this? Why did you betray the team? She says, hey, my mission goes above your mission. But before we do anything, this briefcase here with the bearings is being tracked, and shows proof with the phone. I have to do this and that and do this whole thing just to deactivate it. And he's like, all right, fine, whatever. Take out the tracking. That's done. But then he gets his spidey sense. That's what I'm going to call it. Because remember, it's like, and he looks over and he hears them. He hears them coming.
So,
and yeah.
But quick, I think this is the only time we hear Haverford, right? He's not at all in this episode. And it's a really quick thing. She's walking. Now, again, this is from where I believe they were at, about 3 hours away. So somehow he was able to track her. Now, again, they have all the CTC or whatever it is, cameras and everything. I'm
CCTV.
Sure. Yeah, with the CIA, they could probably track everything.
But it was Tal that was in control of all of that in this unit. So
exactly. And then when you look at, but Tal's still with them though.
Yeah. Well, no, she's running rogue with Elsa.
I don't think Tal is.
No,
I don't think Tal has anything to do with her.
Oh.
Because that's why Tal was doing another job. I'm assuming for Haverford.
Okay.
But either way, they find out where she is, and I really wish this would have been explained, because we see Edwards getting up, and it's like next thing we know is he's wherever she is, following to some big huge hotel, which obviously other people are. But he does get her in the hotel room, and he's not happy because he got shot in the back. I don't blame him.
Yeah, but before they can get any answers, big shootout scene here. A lot of running around in a hotel, and he doesn't want to give her a weapon. Makes sense, especially with just a place. Like,
the last time they were together.
Yeah, last time together, it didn't go well. But he gets into a certain situation where he needs help. and she picks up a gun and she shoots the guy that was attacking him.
Yeah.
He notices, like, all right, fine, she's got a gun, but she's helping out, and she continues to help out.
But even before that, she's trying to earn his trust by showing, like, hey, I have to remove this tracker.
Yeah.
And she's explaining everything, and while she's doing it, that's when he starts hearing that people are coming up. And now, a lot of people might say that's kind of ridiculous, but let's be honest. They are trained to be listening for people. And if he knows that someone is also tracking her, he's probably listening to make sure. And of course, we already know what's going to happen. He's got to survive.
Yeah.
So, again, big firefight, which a wonderful firefight.
It was cool. It was a cool firefight. Really cool scenes in this section here. She also picks up one of the enemy's earpieces so she could hear where they're going. And this is where he finds out that she could understand Farsi. And she was like, yeah. It's like, oh, all right, well, could have told us that before when we're dealing with this. But she's keeping secrets. She's got a lot of secrets.
Yeah.
But at least now they can sort of track the movement because they know where the other guys are, circling around, trying to track them. And at first it sort of helps, but then it doesn't, because then they're just from all angles. They're across the street, on their balconies. I mean, it's an all-out firefight that's going on here.
I always say this anytime I watch a military TV show or movie. When you get to something like this, I hate when you see their rifles, unless if it's a machine gun, that is just full automatic. Like these are not like. These are single shots, and that is how the military normally runs. They either use 3-round bursts or single shots. Because, again, if you have a magazine that carries, let's say, 30 bullets, you're going to be out of bullets really, really fast if you just do a full automatic. So I liked the realism of what we know of this. They're single shots. He's taking precise shots rather than just like spraying everything.
I'm assuming also he's picking up their weapon and their ammo.
Yes.
As he's going along, because that's what he's using.
Yeah, but either way, I'm just saying, like, and he also put their vest on. He also put one of their bags on that you would assume has multiple magazines. But I'm just saying, I hate when I see any type of military show and like as soon as they get their M16, the AK-47, whatever it is, it's like full automatic. Like, no, they don't fight like that because you'd be out. That's why you normally have a machine gunner in the unit. They're the ones that are going to suppress the fire, that are just, cleaning up everything. They're laying down the firepower.
Explain this then, because right toward the end, one guy jumps out from a corner, looks like he's got him point blank, and then he's taken out and gets stabbed up in the neck. The guy pulls off his hood. I'm assuming he's someone that works with Eliza, right?
No. I think that was one of the guys that was probably with all those guys that went in. That's why he came out with the balaclava on.
Okay.
So he comes out, and now again, I don't know. Again, I guess you saw him wearing the same uniform, and he's wearing the balaclava, so that he just assumed like, oh, hey, you're one of my guys.
And then okay, that's it. That explains that.
That's how I saw it. Maybe I'm wrong, but
no, man. So we'll go with that. I wasn't too sure. Because then they go wandering off in the streets.
Yep.
Trying to figure out where. Now this is another tricky part. They don't really go too much, and it would have been great if they just said a certain amount of time. Because just like how they said where location, if they would have said a week later, 2 weeks, because we're trying to figure out where they're going. Right? They're going through the street. Finally, we hear the police showing up, but then he enters one building. They go further upstairs, and it looks like it's a whole surveillance room. This is where he's been holding up. He's injured. She wants to help. He was like, no, you got the couch. I got this.
And I think this is where it's confusing when it comes to like not explaining the time, because you're kind of under the assumption whoever has these bearings, you want to get them to the next person,
buyers, as soon as possible.
Oh. So it's like, is this right away? Is it a week later? And I asked like when he goes in this building, it's like it reminds me of Batman when he comes down. It's all open and everything. So but they go up like I don't know how many levels. So now he has a look over the whole street and everything, but you can tell he's been living in there.
Yeah, because that's what he said. He
Oh,
said, "I need the high ground. I need to see what's going on." So you've been there for a while, and
yeah.
that's the only thing. It's like, how long has he been trying to track her down? Because just from what we know, it sounds like from getting up, calling Jed, he says, "All right, let me go find some intel." All right, she's over in this location. Head out. That's it. But then when you see the setup, you've been there for a while.
And that makes you ask questions about Hastings, like, how
Hmm.
long has he been, with this other guy? I mean,
Yeah. What
it
if that's
seems like,
not even real time? What if it's not real time with that?
one that could be it too. But see,
Oh,
and that's where you kind of, again, this is where you have to have that you have to separate yourself from what reality is, right? But again, like, why is Hastings not trying to find Edwards? Like, wouldn't that be one of his priorities too? I mean, I don't think he's on his own mission. I feel like this guy's trying to figure out what's going on because he was the one that questioned
yeah.
Haverford to begin with.
Unless he knows again off camera, they know each other are fine wherever they're at. Hastings knows Edwards is on a mission to go find Eliza. He knows he's okay, and so he's going to handle his business because he has someone to interrogate. That's the only thing we can think of. But you know what? That'll probably get answered in the next episode. But at this point now,
You know what?
speaking of Hastings,
It could be because then you also have Tal. She has her own assignment. So maybe they were all split up, but I feel like, again, what Hastings is doing, that's something that you're like, that's off the books. Like, you don't tell me what you're doing, but he's trying to figure other things out.
yeah,
And
because we know Eliza at least said her end. She's
yeah,
here because of Jed. Her agency, the Israeli intelligence agency, they don't trust him. He's been in this position for 20 years. They want to know who Shepard is. And
yeah,
they feel that there's something shady going on. And that was her mission. Her mission is to follow him and to obtain all the intel she can regarding Shepard.
yeah, because they said it was every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, they do a rotation.
There's a handoff, but it's
Mhm.
been 20 years. So it does question like, hey, why are you the only one that knows who Shepard is?
Well, she doesn't have this intel, but we do, the viewers. When Hastings was in the car and he received that phone call from his
Yeah.
dad's friend who said, "Hey, listen, he's got a grudge, right? He lost a bunch of people during a mission and he's just hell bent on just taking them down. That's why he's been in the job so long." Valid reason. We hear
Right.
this. She doesn't know this.
But I even go back to that and I go, Haverford knew about that. So why can't the guy Haverford be like, hey, just tell him what I need you to tell him? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's what if he already knew, that means the guy's already reached out to him, or somebody's
Mm.
reached out to him. So
Something's going on. But speaking of that, we got Hastings now back with the prisoner.
yeah,
And he's got his own technique. He just saved him, did all stuff as we saw before. He sliced him in the neck and he was like, "Hey, I can fix you up. Just tell me the intel." Guy refuses to talk. Then he goes into this whole speech about you're not a real soldier and and you're just like me, you're a mercenary, and he doesn't want to hear it. So he strings him up, pulls him up, and just starts doing more little cuts. Death by 1,000 cuts. This is gonna be painful, slow and painful. Guy wants answers. He doesn't want to talk though. I mean, when he does talk, it upsets me because I feel like if he would have just said his role and his position right off the bat, it could have just avoided all of this. I don't get
and
why.
yeah. And we'll get to that when
Yeah,
he
yeah,
tells
yeah.
him. I was waiting when he kept telling him that he's just another soldier or whatever. I was waiting for him to lean in and be like, "You're right. I'm not a soldier. I'm a seaman."
Mm-hmm.
He's,
Oh, yeah,
he's a
there we go.
Navy.
Yep,
Like,
yep. Yeah,
if
that's
you
it.
tell a Marine that he's a soldier, he is going to correct you. Even though, again, soldier is generic. Like, all, in my opinion, every single one in, the military, they're soldiers of some sort. But that's what the Army calls themselves. Airmen or, Air Force. Little things like that. Before people correct us and yell at me. But someone will probably yell at me and say, hey, they're not called seamen. But yeah, he's pretty much telling me, hey, you're running out of time. So,
Yeah.
like, when we go back to Hastings, and what he's doing with this prisoner, this makes me think like this guy has not been like suffering for like a week, right? This is fresh. This is new that he's taking care of him.
Yeah.
So if we jump over to Edwards and Eliza, and they've been a week, then the time is not adding up. And that's fine as long as we understood the time that's happening. But why are they not communicating? I can't believe that Hastings would leave Edwards by himself unless if it was already a plan.
That's what we have to assume it was done off camera. That they've already worked it. When we get into the end of this episode, we have to assume that this is a rally point, and that rally point is where Hastings is.
Or maybe we'll see in maybe the last episode, we see Hastings and Edwards talking, and Edwards saying, "Hey, I'm going to say you went MIA. I don't know where you're at. You take the guy. You get the info that we're looking for. I'm going to get with Haverford. Haverford won't know where you're at. Who knows, right?" So
we get back with Eliza and Edwards. He's packs himself up, and then they go into this whole song and dance about the whole thing. We call this filler. I know some people are like, this is story building. I get it, but she gives the same reasoning of why she's doing what she's doing, and that this is their mission. This is the life they live. She wants to make sure that her daughter never has to fight this type of war. She wants to put an end to it.
Yeah,
that type of deal, and just trying to put them on the same level. It's like, you're going through your own stuff. I'm going through my own stuff. Hey, I was told to kill anyone that gets in the way. I didn't kill you. I shot you in the plates. I could have did it.
Yeah.
And which is true. We talked about it. Yeah, you could have.
That's the first thing we said.
Yeah, that was the first thing we said right there.
Exactly what she was doing.
Yep. And that's it. She's trying to get this mission done, and then also find out what's going on with Jed, and that he needs to start looking into that. But remember, Edwards was just brought in for this mission for a different reason. It wasn't the whole, what, Jed is corrupt. I don't know. He met the guy in a bar. The guy said, hey, don't worry. I got this job. You do this. We're going to clean things up, get you back in the system. Everything is fine. Hastings, we're going to clean your name also. You're going to get an honorable discharge. Go on your merry way. But now he's stuck into this whole other drama. He doesn't care about all this. I don't really think he does.
There's a couple things. First off, anyone that said that they've ever been shot with a bulletproof vest, like, it still hurts like hell. There's that. So even shooting him in the back like 3 times, it's still gonna hurt, especially where your spine is. But going into the filler, I don't really have a problem with the filler. I didn't think this was awful filler. I liked the pace of it. I liked their interaction, but it was something we probably didn't need as much. It could have been cleared up sooner. I don't think there's too much more to talk about.
Yeah, no, but they're like, all right, yeah, let's just keep it moving.
It basically turns out she has her own mission from someone else.
Yeah, her group, the intelligence agency, and the mission is get those bearings, but also to find out more intel on Jed and the Shepherd. Their goal is to find the Shepherd. They feel Shepherd is behind all of this. He's the one that gave out their location and caused the ambush. But as we see when we go back to Hastings,
because quickly, she does say that she had nothing to do with that. Like, she has been saying, like, I had nothing to do with that ambush. I knew nothing about it. Again, I still find that a little too convenient, right? Someone had to know about it.
Well, that's the problem here, right? She says she knew nothing about it. But yet, why did you shoot Edwards in the back and grab the bearings? Did she think that his mission was a failure? So she was going to continue on, almost like rugby. The guy gets tackled, the ball goes down. She picked up the ball and kept running. She just had no faith in him. Or did she feel that this was all linked with Jed in some way? That's that she felt the need to do that. Yeah, well, I mean,
we're never going to find out now.
We're never going to find out. That's true. At least not from Eliza.
Yes. But we go back to Hastings, and he's outside the cabin with a phone, but we don't see anything with the phone. Like, there's no, like, they don't zoom in on any text. It doesn't look like he's calling anyone. That makes me wonder if some other things have been mentioned to him. Yeah,
we definitely see stress on his face, though. That's what I put in my notes. Stressed. Whatever happened. Again, that could be a bunch of things. It could be a conversation he had with Jed. It could be a conversation he had with Edwards. It could be a conversation with his dad, trying to get more insight. Because one of the things is once he gets back in, he starts talking to the guy and says, you know what? You're right. Because the guy couldn't pinpoint his accent. He's like, I'm from Africa. And then he gives the whole story about his uncle having a hunting reserve business out there, type of thing. And how he would go hunting with him, and talks about some of the animals they would kill, tough skin, the bones, mind games, all mind games, doing this whole thing, and then just starts cutting away. But we find out some deep information here that should have just been dropped early on.
It would have made a lot more sense.
Holy moly. Yeah, because he finally confesses in a way.
But that's after he hits him with the whatever it was that he had, because he talks how it dissolves the bones. So he hits him in the open cut with it. And this is where this guy's, he's been tortured. We don't know how bad he's been tortured. We know it's been pretty bad.
And he's been strung up. So it hurts even more. He's got the cuts in his armpits. Ugh.
And so this is the breaking point for him. And he basically, he tells exactly who he is or what he's doing, who he's working for.
German intelligence. Are you kidding me? To the point that Hastings had to lean in. Wait, what did you say? Are you a friendly? And he's like, German intelligence, CIA. It was like, what are you? He freaks out. He lets him down. He's doing chest compressions because now this guy is just dying. And I don't
know why he died just from that one little burn. Like that would be painful, but all of a sudden this is what kills him. But this is the trope of so many shows, and that is because
I'm your father. Oh.
Yeah. So as he's trying to save him. Now again, he's a friendly. Like, why didn't he? Again, why didn't
he should have said it at the beginning? Yes, that's what I don't understand.
Now, I will say this: when he was trying to give him CPR, when he was doing chest compressions, I was waiting for to hear the break that he pushes too hard at the end and cracks the sternum.
Yeah.
Like I was waiting for that.
But he's a pro. He's a pro.
I know, but I was like he was. Now he's like freaking out about it because he's just killed a friendly. He's tortured a friendly.
But it's his own fault. He should have just said it. Once he pulled him, he should have said, hey, look, check, I have ID or call this number.
And these are things like, again, if something goes wrong, like they don't exist. Yeah. Right. Exactly. This is not a a military operation or anything like that.
So this throws another wrench in the whole situation then, because why were they there then? If they weren't part of the ambush, the German intelligence, it was just right. How did you know that all this was going down? It was like the worst kept secret because it's like, it's like not only did the bad guys know, but then also German intelligence also knew this was happening in town.
And this is one of those things that better be answered, or it ruins the show. It ruins the whole series if this is not explained who he was, how they ended up getting him, and why were they there.
Yeah.
But then we move back to Munich. Now we go to Munich. As soon as they go back.
Yeah.
Now we're in Munich, and we see Klaus is painting.
Now you know this guy.
You know who this guy is.
Maybe I do. How? Tell me. I blanked. I'm hearing you tell me stuff. I'm still trying to remember.
He's looking for the sailboat.
Again,
I'm schooner.
like, but
have you not seen Mallrats? Have you not seen My Name is Earl?
That was back in the 60s. I can't remember that far back.
He used to be super fat. He was in American History X.
Okay, I remember seeing him as American History.
Super fat. Then he lost all that weight. Got into
Okay, all right. There we go. It's been a while.
You know what I'm talking about now, right?
I do. I can picture from American History. Yeah, I can picture that. Not from Mallrat. It's been a while. Yeah. It's a big dude.
You remember Mallrats? He's looking for the.
It's been a long time.
He's the guy who's always working at the painting to try and find the sailboat. He brought his lunch.
Ah, well, there you go. You won with
that guy in the Easter Bunny, or the guy in the Easter Bunny costume.
Right. Well, he's here, but here's the thing. So we got Tal who's watching
Wait a
him.
minute. Tell me if you guys have seen Mallrats. If you remember the guy looking for the sailboat and the little kid that says, "Oh, it's a schooner."
And if you did see that, did you put two and two together with this jabroni in this scene? Did you figure it out? Because
I was
definitely
looking at it. I
that.
would have known that it was him because I follow him on Instagram and I've seen his transformation. If you are not following him and you've only seen him, if you saw him on My Name is Earl, or American History X, My Name is Earl is probably what he's most known for. He was very, very heavy. Okay.
All right, well, good for him. He looks
good.
If
you would have seen him, I don't think you might not have noticed. If you followed his journey and how much weight he's lost, then you would know exactly what it looks like. I knew that he was coming up. That's why I said, like, this is a major cameo for them to get that. He doesn't really do much. I don't think he has any real lines because
he has a lot of grunts. A lot of grunts.
A lot of grunting. But anyway, he's painting little, what I would assume is
miniatures.
They look like the little miniatures of the Revolution War, maybe.
Warhammer. I don't know. I know somebodies that do that, and it's soothing. You know, like it's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, but then we see him leave, and what we see is Tal has been watching, and Tal breaks into the house, into his apartment. And she's there to try and clone his hard drive or get information, whatever. Yeah. And she covers up the camera, so he can't see if he has the camera running. Okay. And then I don't know what it was, but for some odd reason, as she's walking around, she uncovers something and sees another camera. So now she's freaking out. She got to get out of there. And of course he comes in.
Well, that's where it gets confusing because it looked like he left the building, right? Yeah. She was watching from across the street. He left. So even if he's watching another, unless it's like a Ring doorbell type of thing and it's set up on his phone, right? It's set up on his phone.
That would be my guess. That all of a sudden he's getting notifications that the camera is moving.
Now, yeah. But either way, he comes back in and man, this was a fight.
No, okay. No, you have to understand. Again, you guys have probably watched this. Tal is a very small female, and whether or not Klaus or Ethan is into working out or not, he's a very large man, like in general, tall, big. So this is not a fair fight, but I thought they did a wonderful job of making it believable how she beat him.
Yes, he took at least maybe two bullet shots direct. I know one misfired, but it looked like one to
she shot a few times. Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure if she missed every single one. If I see a man coming this large running at me, and I have a gun, I'm unloading every single bullet. Just like if I ever saw a bear come at me and I had a gun, I'm loading every single one.
I don't know if it'll work against a bear.
I think again, it's the only thing I have, so I'm unloading it.
Save one for yourself. That pain from a bear attack could be brutal. Oh man!
You just jump on him. You jump on his back, and then you put him in a sleeper hold, and then he's out. Yes, just like Roddy Piper.
That's it. Keep it simple.
Or like Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and then he wakes up and his head shaved.
There you go. You shaved the head, right? But she bucked off some shots. We don't know how many connect, but definitely one did because at least in his shoulder we see that he starts bleeding.
Yeah.
So he does take a shot, but he comes at her full force, starts slamming her around, picking her up, throwing her. She's fighting. She's picking things up, hitting him back. At one point, I thought they were going to spill over, or at least one of them was going to fly over the balcony. Because then they went over to the balcony area, start fighting. I could have swore I heard her scream for help. I'm like, I don't know who's going to come up. She did.
She yelled for help a few times.
I'm like,
because there was somebody down at the bottom. I don't know if you noticed. There was somebody at the bottom because there was. Now she wouldn't have seen her or seen the person, but because I was waiting for someone to fall and land on the cars.
Yeah,
but there was somebody walking over there, and again, that would have been like a perfect again, if you fall on that, you're dead. And if you do survive, you're going to be in traction the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But again, I thought this fight was wonderful because she grabs everything she can. She puts him in an arm bar, and I thought I was going to hear the arm snap, but he, due to his strength, he throws her like against the refrigerator.
He just grabbed her up and slammed her against the side. Yeah.
But then like she grabs something and hits him. And again, a lot of times when you see some of these movies and TV shows, and I'm sorry, this is not sexist, but come on, sometimes we see like these women that, again, if we're enjoying the show or whatever, but under normal circumstances, a guy this big, he's not gonna have any problem, fighting her.
I think it's also it's the way they portrayed her, that she was just more intelligent. She was the techie. We're not sure if she was trained in all this fighting combat.
When you're looking at his size, but she used everything that she could get to, and if he is shot, that's obviously going to that's going to help win, right? I mean,
and it definitely worked out because she grabbed some of the paint and just started throwing it in his face, or the lighting fluid.
Or kind of stupid, right? Like you're throwing paint at him, but again, you're trying to get something in his eyes or whatever.
It worked. He was blinded for a little bit.
Yeah. And then he's just strangling her, right? He's strangling her, telling her to go to sleep. Go to sleep. And you can see the gun. She's reaching for the gun. And then all of a sudden, she can't reach it. She grabs this blowtorch and his face lights up.
He turns into a Ghost Rider.
He's turning a Ghost Rider.
Johnny Blaze.
And then, she grabs the gun. Boom, ends him. This is a cameo that I'm like, you brought he's a named actor. I mean, he's a named actor. You brought him in, and this is all you used him for.
It's a memorable scene, though. We're going to talk about it. I'm sure anyone else who's watching this and trying to get their buddies or whoever to watch it, like, hey, that was this one dude that went into Ghost Rider mode. And if they know who he is, they can bring it up.
But this goes back to what we were talking about off air. Dexter, and they had Doogie Howser or, Barney Stinson. I don't know why I can't think of his name.
Neil Patrick Harris.
He was brought in on Dexter, and I think he was in one episode, and then he's killed off right away. So this might be one of those shows that someone's like, hey, maybe he knows the director, and he's like, I would love to do an episode.
Or how about it's a payday, and it was a short amount of time. I'm sure that fight sequence took quite a bit of time. Most fight sequences do, but it's a memorable scene. And he was in it in TV time, maybe 3 minutes tops. But hey, it was memorable.
It was a great fight. We talked about this on Reacher when Reacher fought the big guy. I forget what his name is.
Wally.
Yeah. Awesome fight scenes, right? Awesome fight scenes. And this was no different. I loved, again, the choreography in it, the use of different, again, she has to use
her surroundings.
Yeah. Because she knows she's smaller. She's not as strong. She cannot physically beat him. And please don't leave any comments that that's not true, because it is.
He was just and it's not even for her. If a normal or smaller guy would also have trouble.
Yeah,
the guy, he's massive. He's big. He's a big dude. It's just, and it was a tight space. That's the other thing. But hey, it worked out.
I loved it. I loved it. It was believable. It was believable why she won. That's what I'm
throwing up afterwards. Very believable. When I used to do my trainings back in the day and took some blows, stuff, even just after that, just my stomach hurts. I'm still throwing it up and stuff. It made perfect sense. You don't really see that. A lot of times you just see people, huffing and puffing. Yeah, that was great. No, your internals all hurt.
It's probably the scariest she's ever been in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, but then she grabbed the computer and she's out of there.
And now she goes. And no police. No one cares. I mean, if there's one thing we learned from this episode, police are far away from everything, from hotels, from streets, from any buildings.
It's just safe to say that these foreign countries do not have police.
That's the way they're portraying this right now. There's no one working to be cop. The whole thing of like, hey, Jimmy down there. No.
Basically, what we're finding out is the most unrealistic thing of this whole show so far is that the way they trap in the tunnel, that they turned the car into a police car. We know that's not true because the police would not show up for about 5 hours if there was an accident.
Well, remember, that was the only time they questioned it because they said it would take 15 minutes because of how remote that tunnel is from the
Yeah.
nearest town that has a police. So about 15 minutes, and then that's when they were like, "Oh, well,
And
we
I'm
did that
calling
under
BS
5."
on that.
Yeah, we'll call
We're
him
at
BS.
15 hours.
Oh, we're gonna call some BS on some other time from Edwards later on when we
Okay.
get that Steiner math. Oh my
Well, then we
Lord.
go. We go to Zurich, and here's Edwards and Eliza, and they have to head to Stein, and it's
It's here we go.
1
Go ahead.
hour north of Zurich.
Okay.
Now we have to be in the car for 5 hours together. We might as well. They're going to
Yes.
Stein, and what?
For the rally point. That's all we
And-
know. We know the sign rally
But-
point because of Jed, and then Jed had said,
But they're
make
going to
sure
Stein. It's 1 hour away from where they're at. They're going to be in the car for 5 hours. And what kind of math do they use
they're using Steiner math.
to get to
There
Stein?
you go. That's a classic moment,
Now-
people. If you don't know, look it up. Type in Steiner
Yes.
math on YouTube and you'll see it.
Just type in Steiner math, and make sure you get the whole clip.
Yeah,
And
you get, he gets so confused. You know, right,
It
and
is-
then,
It is amazing. You will watch it more than once. You have
Mhm.
to. And when you're done, you'll realize that you are stupider than you ever thought.
you know what? I'll make it easier. I'll put it in the show notes in the bottom. just click the link. I'll put a little link and just go there.
Steiner math is awesome. There's
Mhm.
no doubt about that.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. He says they're in that town. They have to go to the rally point out an hour out. But
Yep.
then he tells her
And-
we're going to be in this car for 5 hours.
So I had the map up, and I said this early in the episode. Zurich in Austria, because Austria is where Hastings is. It's roughly 7 hours away. So when they said it's an hour north, I'm thinking, okay, well, Munich is right in the middle. That's about a 5-hour drive if you're going from Zurich to 1 hour on the other side of Munich. But I was like, wait a minute. They said that they're an hour outside of where they're already at.
Unless they're not going to the rally point. He was just saying where the rally point is. I don't know.
You know what? That's
Because what if they were going to, let's say if there was a connection with Eliza and Tal, and she was going to Munich to pick her up, then go to the rally point. That we'll find out, but it's just the wording, the way they put it all together. It just made it seem like, oh, we're just going an hour outside of town to go to Stein for the rally point. So,
Either
but
way,
you know,
I like to use a Steiner math.
yeah, we're gonna use the Steiner math until they figure this out in the next episode. But at first, I thought this was it. I thought this was the end because
I
they're
did
all
too.
happy. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna listen to some music." He's playing with the radio. Hey, he comes across Simple Man, Leonard Skinner, which is also the main theme song of the show.
And to me, I was like, okay, they're just kind of book ending this episode with the opening song and then the ending song.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting what happened to happen.
Oh no. I mean, they get stuck in traffic. Hey, traffic's everywhere, right? They're in traffic, but then, of course, you know what I got when I saw this? I sort of got the feeling from Sopranos, the last episode, when Journey is playing, "Don't Stop," and the whole thing, and then it's like the daughter's trying to park, and she's having issues, and then you see like some people are walking in, and Tony looks, and you were seeing all these like different faces come in, but they're all glancing at Tony. Did you see that last episode?
I did do one. I watched the last episode, or at least I watched that part, so I know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, I got that vibe from this because while the music is playing, you're like, oh, it's supposed to be over, but why is it showing us these two people on a motorcycle?
Well, I mean, the people on the motorcycle were looking in all the cars, so I knew.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like something's gonna happen here. Something's gonna happen here. And then once they get close, they look over, they see Eliza and stuff, and then they put a bag on top of the car and drive off. And Edwards, good thing he's paying attention because he's over here just, reminiscing or getting lost in the song, probably thinking of better times. But then once he hears the thump, he's like, oh, get out. He tells them, they jump out of the car. Boom. I mean, I did not see that coming.
Yeah. And then we get the motorcycles, they turn around, they come at him. Of course, he has enough, he's cogged it enough to get up, and he takes out his pistol, and he ends up ending their lives. Then he comes back around, and all we see is Eliza's arm, and it's all bloody.
She never got out of the car in time.
Yeah, the case is full of the
Bearings.
the bearings, and then he takes something off of her wrist. Now I'm assuming that whatever he took off her wrist was something made by her daughter. That's my guess.
Could be. It could
And
be.
then at the end, we'll probably see him somehow return it to her.
Yeah. I could see that. I didn't even think about that.
He took it off for a reason.
Because he was gonna pawn it. He was like, I've always wanted this and I need some money. Times are hard.
I need to get to this place. Now I gotta buy a car.
Yeah, I made you this friendship bracelet and now it's over. We're separated. Oh no, but
you know what? Doesn't she make a comment about how was it in this show where she made a comment about how he got blood on it? Or was that another show we were watching?
About blood on it.
Oh no, you know what? I take it back. I think that was in Dexter. Charlie, I think, makes a comment about he got blood on something. I don't know.
Yeah, see, all the shows, it's all being meshed together. We're blending it all together. I was like, yep, and then this, but yeah, no, it was intense. He grabs it and then off he goes, and that's it, just like that. You know, Eliza, she's gone. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people thought she was an enemy anyway.
Yes.
So it automatically assumed once he hunts her down, we're going to find out and then get rid of her. But no, that's not the case. But it doesn't matter because she is gone. So
here's the question. She's gone. Edwards, he takes off, now you can hear police sirens. Oh no, you can hear police sirens, I believe, in the background in the hotel. We haven't heard any police sirens. We
hear a lot of screaming. That's all we hear. People just screaming in the streets.
So he basically is just, I think he got rid of the gun. And so he's trying to fit in. He needs to get away. My question is this where we're going to see Edwards somehow get a hold of Hastings? Like, that's the only person he knows he can trust, right? At this point, that's the only person he knows he can trust.
Yeah, and then also back to when we weren't sure about the time frame. Maybe that's the person that was calling Hastings. Maybe there's something going on there. It's like, hey, this just happened, or again, we don't know who's at the rally. We know that Jed said that there's a rally point at the whatever location, but we don't know if that's the same location at Hastings. Hastings dealing with his own stress right now, just killing it. Even
all right, you know what? Okay, hold on. What if the 5-hour drive is to get to Hastings? It's not to get to the rally point; it's to get to Hastings.
Could be. Then because, it's to get him out.
In real life, it's roughly 7 hours. Okay. Again, we don't know where I just have Austria up here. So
we don't know what part of Austria.
Maybe it's like a roughly 5 hour. Maybe that would make more sense. That this the last person that he knows that he can trust. Maybe his goal is now he's going to meet up with Hastings. Then they're going to figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But we'll find out next week.
And then how do they get in contact with Tao? I mean, if we're going off of the idea that she was still working with Jed and not with Eliza, but I think she was still part of that whole thing with Eliza and the Israeli government intelligence agency.
We don't know that. We don't know.
We don't know. Yeah, right. It's maybe it wasn't, but we'll have to see. Or maybe the rally could have just been with Mo and Landry.
I just hope everything gets tied up in the last episode.
We have 2 episodes left, so they have to speed this up. And it's shocking that there's only 2 episodes left because we're so early on. It feels like
quick question: have you looked at the time of the episodes? I'm wondering is episode 7 like 2 episodes combined, kind of like
all the dates.
1923. Was it 1923?
Oh, let's see if it was like a 2-hour special.
Yeah.
I did not.
I was thinking about that the other day because that would kind of make sense. Because you remember 1920? It's 1923, right?
1923, second season. Yeah,
they
that lasted like 2 hours.
And we're like, wait a minute, whoa, wait, what?
Fantastic show. Oh man, That was so
I know
good.
some people that didn't like it. And
Then I don't like them. Because that was. There's nothing to complain about.
Darren, if you're listening, he's talking about you.
How could you not like it, Darren?
We
Come on,
said
man.
the same thing.
It was from the set design, from the emotional connection that it pulls you in. If it could make you feel something, then it's succeeding. Because we watch all kinds of things where you could just roll our eyes, right? Like, oh, come on, Reacher, you can't swim that far. There's plenty of other shows that just have us just disconnect. But that show, man, you could feel it. You could feel the stress trying to get to her husband, traveling across the United States in the old days with the boat and the train and the car and
if Reacher would have been stuck in that car at the end of 1923 that his wife was, he would have just taken off his shirt and the heat from his body would have kept the whole car warm. He would not have got frostbite.
He would have done the Hulk, smash with his hands, and I mean the heat that would have resonated from. He would have had the glow, and once he would have held her, you would see all the little frost on her face just melt away, and that's it. Maybe he breathes on her face or something like that. His breath smells like cinnamon all the time. Okay, he's just a magical man. Magical man. I mean, what was it? Season 2? Was it season 2? Season 1 of Reacher, when the deputy from the police department, she knew he had the glow. Remember, she wanted to feel that glow. She jumped into the shower. Remember, she's like, I want to feel the glow, the power of
It's
Reacher.
been a long time since I've seen.
I will never forget that because it came out of nowhere. I was like, what is happening? Oh,
wait, not season 1. You mean season 3, but episode?
No, it was season 1 with the deputy. Remember when he first shows up in town with the whole thing of trying to find his brother?
No, but I know we're talking about Reacher, guys. I'm sorry. But the detective, she does the same thing.
She did that too. Oh yeah, no. She did that. No. Do whatever Duffy did. But she made the move. It was the other one when he was, taking a shower or whatever, and then she just walks in. Remember, she just walked. She did not care, and I did not see that coming. But anyway, that's Reacher. Go ahead, watch that. Another good show. But yeah, here we are. That was it. There was a lot of action. There was some answers, some more questions. Still trying to figure things out on some of the cast members. What's happening with them? Are they alive? I'm assuming they're all alive, meaning Mo and Landry and stuff, or else Edwards would have pointed out.
I don't think there's any chance that they're dead.
Yeah.
Well, no, we know because Mo is around in the other.
Yeah. But I mean, for people that didn't watch it, I mean, we have to, as we've heard before, there's already some people that don't want to watch this show because they think it's season 2 of the first. I'm like, I didn't even finish that one. Like, you didn't have to. It's its own thing. It's special. It's its own thing. But anyway, thanks again, people. If you made this far, please click that like, subscribe. Stick around. We got 2 more episodes, and then of course other shows that we're covering. Josh and I are still covering Chief of War. That is getting crazy. The horrible massacre that just took place in the last episode. Tons of blood, bodies being exploded in the air. It was pretty brutal in that one. And then what else? I feel like we have something else. Of course, we just finished Dexter.
We're gonna
go check that out. And then we're doing Slow Horses. That's for September 24th. That's dropping. So and thankfully
this ends, we're going right into Slow Horses.
And then thankfully with Slow Horses, 1 episode a week. 1 episode, only 6 episodes, but at least 1 a week. None of this dropping 2 or 3 episodes day 1.
I'm okay with that. With that.
Yeah, me too. All right, everybody, have a good week, and we will see you next time.
Take care.
Later.